A little more than a week ago, a Douglas County deputy faced a life-changing event that left him in a serious condition. Around this time last year, these ticket encounters were completely packed. Now it is looking like a ghost town. As a result of high risk levels for COVID-19, holiday travel is looking completely different. The transition from a classroom to a virtual platform is resulting in some consequences for Washoe County high school and middle school students. This morning, family, friends, and community members came out to lay more than 8,000 wreaths for these veterans. Exactly a month ago from today, the Mountain View fire came through the Antelope Valley, destroying more than 90 homes and structures. Tabney and Noah, I can't even imagine what these people had to go through yesterday. I mean, having to evacuate their home, leaving everything behind, and not knowing what to expect when they return. The Mountain View fire burning more than 20,000 acres in Walker, California near Topaz Lake. The flames rushing down the mountain, burning everything in its way.
Come on. Just pray.
This was a scene as families were evacuating for their safety.
It's really indescribable. Catch you off guard is an understatement. Overwhelming understatement.
Karen and Brett Paulson arriving to their home for the first time after the fire. This is where it used to be.
That was jaw-dropping.
A coffee cup Karen purchased from Israel was one of the few things they were able to salvage. A lifetime worth of memorabilia and family pictures gone.
Overwhelmed with loss and fear. It's really about fear. You know, like I'll never get it again. I'll never remember who that was, and all those joys and the memories that you're mentioning. But it really, God's got a bigger plan, and it's going to come through.
This is what the Paulsons' home used to look like. Now it is completely unrecognizable. They tell me one thing that was extremely shocking was to find out how hot these flames can get, to the point where their steel patio furniture was completely bent and destroyed.
When I look to the right to see our house, like you look and there's a building missing. Like it's like someone moved the house.
The Paulsons finding light during this dark situation. They tell me their community is filled with outpouring support. Owner of Topaz Lodge stepping up for those like the Paulsons who were displaced.
80 rooms, I think the first night he said, you know, wouldn't take a penny for that. But just, it's really amazing. You see, there is so much good in our community.
The Paulsons taking this tragedy as an opportunity to remind everyone that wildfire season never takes a day off. And what happened to them can happen to anyone. Reporting from Walker, California, Abel Garcia, Koloi News Now.
My office has always supported everyone in the community. Anyone that calls and asks for help, we will help them.
A letter from the Douglas County Sheriff sent on Tuesday, July 28th to the county library, stirring up some controversy. Members of the Carson City Black Lives Matter movement hosted a demonstration, and a counter-protest was held in support of Sheriff Coverly and law enforcement.
If you don't want our help, then you don't have to ask us, and that's all I said. I never threatened to withhold services.
Nearly 1,000 people showed up in support of the sheriff, and close to 100 were there to support Black Lives Matter. There was plenty of verbal aggression, but no physical violence.
The sheriff said that he would not do his job as a law enforcement agent. I'm having issues understanding how it could be American to protest a protest.
I attempted to interview one of the organizers of Saturday's demonstration in favor of Black Lives Matter, Jerome Silas. Bystanders making it difficult for him to speak.
People will stand behind a statement more than they stand behind the people who are affected by said statement.
Nevada Assemblyman Jim Wheeler on hand to show his support for law enforcement, claiming he completely agrees with the letter sent and what it says.
There is no way, any way in this world that this sheriff will not respond to anybody, anytime that needs his help.
The Black Lives Movement has got to understand that the white people are not anti-black, but the government is trying to separate everybody for this instance.
Edmund Hannon says the sheriff does not own an apology because he is entitled to make those statements. Others think differently.
He threatened our library. This is my tax dollars that work here, and I have to state that I don't accept it.
The conversations of racial injustice are far from over, but one thing is certain, the time for change is now. In Douglas County, Abel Garcia, Koloi News Now. Cancer is something that affects us all. Whether it be through a relative or a friend, we know someone who is impacted. Jacqueline Jones is making strides as her community cheers her on through this fight against a very powerful opponent. From the softball field to the weight room, Jacqueline Jones has made an impact on hundreds of students here at Spanish Springs High School, but a recent diagnosis has those students now coming to her aid.
We don't know how strong we are until strong is the only choice that we have.
Jones, a wife, a mother, a softball coach, and a teacher, has a disease that takes lives of many in our community, stage 4 melanoma cancer. She began that life-changing day doing what she loves most, teaching. Later, her vision got blurry, resulting in a trip to ER. A CT scan led to the news: cancer, spreading rapidly throughout her body.
As I'm being told this information, my husband's walking in with our young kids, and I just think of like their lives ahead of them. And so that was really hard.
Her loved ones say they had to help. Joan's best friend Jennifer Stanko creating a GoFundMe page, and within hours the support came flooding in. Stanko says she isn't surprised. Jacqueline is more than deserving.
To know that like something like that is like trying to take her from me right now, it's almost unimaginable.
Jones, not only a coach on the field, but also a life coach. Her players tell me they never face a dull moment with Coach JP, pushing them to never give up. Courtney Townsend says now she has the honor of helping her coach win this battle.
It was hard. It's not something you ever want to hear, but with her being an inspiration, you know, she's taken it in stride, and that's huge. I can't imagine what it would be like to be in her position.
It's a disease with no cure, but Jones says she's gaining strength through so many who have her back. Coach's treatment will require her to take time off work, and her husband will also take time to be with her and their 2 boys. If you'd like to help the family financially, the link to the GoFundMe page will be under this story on colotv.com.